I've got one. Nobody in this room probably knows. Tell them about your other company that no one knows about.
Genetic physics?
Yeah.
You have a coffee can amp from... We didn't
No, I'm just saying you should tell everybody about your other business that nobody's probably ever even heard of.
Oh,
Television repair.
the TV repair shop?
Yeah, that's it. the medical one.
Oh, the medical one.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. It's a business that he had that nobody knows about.
I had some friends who were physicians and doctors, and I noticed that when they listened to somebody with a stethoscope, it was one stethoscope that you'd put on your heart and you'd listen to it. And it turns out when a cardiologist listens to a stethoscope, he hears a complex set of sounds that translates in his mind and in his brain into a living, breathing, beating heart with blood flow, valves opening, valve closing, where you and I just hear a ka-boom, ka-boom, ka-boom. And I thought, you know, it would be nice if we get to do this with somehow in stereo. And he said, people have tried stereo stethoscopes since the beginning of time, and physicians don't like them. So I thought, okay, I'll do it one in sonic holography. That's what my deal. That's what my deal. So I made a little stethoscope. It was like this, and it picked up the time differential arrivals from the valves opening, closing, the blood flowing through, and it processed them so our ear-brain system could hear them with increased clarity. I made the device, and I started a company called Carver Genetic Physics. It was sort of Gene Fizz for short. It sounded like a milkshake. But that was fun. That was a fun project.
When was that, roughly?
Boy, that was a long time ago, over 20 years ago. It was, geez, no, about 30 years ago. 30 years ago.
Before Carver?
Before Carver.
Yeah.
No,
Before Carver.
Sonic holography during Carver.
it was during Carver. It was after phase and during the very it was during the very beginnings of Carver. I wasn't sure whether I was going to be build audio equipment or medical electronic equipment.
Oh, yeah.
The audio was much more fun, so that's what I did.
Did the doctors use those though?
Pardon?
Did they use those or?
Yeah, I built prototypes, and the local guys in my area used it, and then I sold the company, I successfully sold the company to a bigger company and started focusing on audio.
How is the company doing now?
That company? Well, I've lost track of it. It got buried in, another
company probably.
Medical company, yeah. Okay, back to audio.
Is there any way we can get a copy of that graph?
I have
for
one.
reasons to put on the forum?
Yeah.
I have one, Tom.
You have one?
You do?
Oh, I would love it too, because I've lost track of my copy.
Okay.
Yeah, I've lost everything. I've lost all my stuff.
I'll bet you those guys had to be just mad as heck. As you're skipping out with your coffee can under your arm.
They didn't know what I was going to do with that graph they gave me. They had no inkling that I was going to publish it and make thousands of copies and send it out into the world.
And become their next competition.
Use their credibility to climb up the credibility.
If you use Bill Gates' logic, they would have offered you a job immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's back you right into the fold.
Yeah,
They should have, yeah.
Yeah.
They're mad at me.
So how much power was their stuff making when they plugged in your Folgers can?
Their biggest amp was 75 watts per channel. And they always tested both channels at the same time, so that was 150 watts. And this was 700
And you did 350
Per channel.
So you might as well kick them while they're down, right?
Yeah, that's right.
What was the point of the show if they weren't going to look for any new technology? What was the point of the show then? As far as testing people's equipment, they just wanted to show you up or something?
Oh,
or?
no. It was at the dealer level. Macintosh had dealers that sold Macintosh equipment. And they wanted people to love Macintosh so they'd buy some stuff.
Okay.
And it was always it was great for PR and public relations, and dealers loved it. It brought people into the store, and they'd have an opportunity to sell them another amplifier or speakers or something. So the dealers loved it. And I loved it too. Because it would have been harder to get started without that Macintosh Clinic graph I had. Next question.
We got a question about bi-amping here. Apparently, the original Amazings had one set of binding posts, and the Platinums had two sets for bi-amping, and then the ones with the knobs went back to one set, and the ALS 3s had two sets. And the question is, are there disadvantages, drawbacks to bi-amping? Or, you know, is that just a marketing thing?
Well, I grew up in which loudspeakers were full range. There were 2 wires going into them, and that covered the woofer, the mid-range, and the tweeter system. And that's what I grew up with. So when I decided to make an amazing loudspeaker, that's the way I did it. 1 set of inputs. And then, I was happily selling them. And then, by and by, my sales guy said, Bob, we can sell lots more if we separate the terminals for the woofer and for the mid-range and tweeter. And I thought, okay, so we'll do it. And so I did it, and I thought, this is sort of troublesome, but that's okay. It's not that much trouble. It's only another set of binding posts. And I was sitting back having visions of sugar plums dancing in my head on how the sales would just explode because we did it. Because that's what the sales guy said would happen. Of course, guess what? What do you think?
He was wrong.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared. But I could tell. So then, by and by, years went by. The years trolled by, and I thought, you know, when I come out with the Sunfire, I'm going to make 2 sets of output terminals, 1 for the tweeter and 1 for the woofers, and maybe that'll help the sales. And so I made 2 output terminals on the back of the Sunfire stuff, 1 for the ribbons and the tweeters, and then 1 for the woofers. And that was a good deal because it softened up. It had a current source output, and that made the ribbon and the high frequency sound more like a tube amp. And it worked. You know, that did make the sales go up. The sales popped up, and I could tell that. So and products evolve as time goes along. So therefore, I changed it and put the controls on the back, the ones that you were just asking about. And those were just relatively small evolutionary changes. Although, for tweaky-dude audiophiles like myself, important ones. And all of us here, actually.